Hello guys, it's me Tunarific, and I want to welcome you back for another episode, another rendition of Film Review Fridays. This is basically a show where I go out to the theaters, where I go and watch a movie home, and I review it and show it to you guys. I also take requests, so if you have any movie that want me to see or anything, make sure to leave it in the comments below. But yeah, this is kind of like a weekend series I want to start making. Notice that my style in this movie, as I already mentioned, is I don't include any spoilers, so you won't be seeing any spoilers or uh, all this kind of stuff. I will be making in the future some like discussion videos, which I will be going deeply into the plot of the movie and spoilers and all that kind of stuff. But I'll keep you up to date on that kind of stuff. But for now, just like a review, a plot summary, and well, let's get to it. You can tell by the energy I have right now. Uh, I went to see a movie which I really wanted to see for a freaking long time. The movie I got to see today, well, technically yesterday, since I'm filming this late. I got to see Godzilla of this year, Godzilla. Which, by the way, disclaimer for people watching this, I am a huge Godzilla fan. Like, literally, I'm a huge Godzilla fan. I'm not the biggest Godzilla fan. I literally know people who are way bigger fans than I am. But I am definitely, like, on the top tier, I guess you can probably say. But yeah, so let's go on reviewing Godzilla. Let's get to it. This movie was directed by Gareth Edwards. Gareth Edwards, disclaimer, has already worked in the past with monster movies. He actually directed a movie called Monster back in 2010. Which, by the way, I haven't seen it yet, but the reviews are really good. So actually, I'm gonna go try to get a copy of that movie, or try to go and watch it on Netflix, or rent it on DVD or something, because I really want to see his work. Because by the looks of it, he knows how to work with monsters. So I'm just letting you know that. This is the second movie he's done, I think, in the big screens. So it's directed by him, distributed by Warner Bros. And Legendary, I think it is. It stars Walter White, Kick-Ass, and the hotter Olsen sister. Just kidding. Well, it does star them, but that's not the names. It stars Bryan Cranston, Aaron Taylor Johnson, and Elizabeth Olsen. It also includes Ken Watanabe, Sally Hawkins, I think that's the name. I hope I'm not mispronouncing it. Sally Hawkins, Juliette Binoche, and other characters. That's basically the main important cast, as I will go into. So yeah, let's go to the plot summary, because I think if I haven't told you guys, this is how I like to do things. I like to go over the plot summary, review the cast and how the acting and the visuals. But let's go over the plot summary. So this movie starts, it even goes back to date to the 1950s, when the whole Hiroshima and Nagasaki incidents, the whole, well, after World War II, what happened with the whole nuclear bomb testings in the Pacific. This movie does a really good job in mixing it up in those terms, with historic details. So it talks about how the United States was testing nuclear bombs in the 1950s, 1954 to be quite exact, in the Pacific. And there was this whole debacle issue of like the U.S. government and trying to hide the details of why they were doing that. And it turns out they were trying to that they had vaccinated to awoken a monster, the monster being Godzilla. And how were they dealing with it, and how they were tracking it from all the way till now. And it kind of deals with Bryan Cranston's character trying to make everyone know that he's not, he knows about this, and that the people are hiding something from him, and he wants the truth. He wants to be confirmed that there's something out there, something out there that concerns him, because that there was an incident in 1990s which killed, I think 1980s or 1990s, that killed his wife, in which one of these attacks, one of these like awakenings was involved or so. But yeah, it basically deals with that, and how he and his son, which is his son, I think, like the main character, the main human character in this film, which is played by Aaron Taylor Johnson, and still how with him and Elizabeth Olsen character uh, deal with the whole debacle of Godzilla and all of the other monsters involved in this film. Other than that, yeah, it's basically like trying to uncover the truth about all these government conspiracies. How to stop the monsters from causing any more havoc, of course. But I think that's the basic. I don't want to give anything away. That's basically what you see in the movie trailers, and like if you go look for summaries, that's what you go and see. So I don't want to spoil anything. So if you want to go and know what's the movie really about, go watch the film, because I truly recommend it. And now I want to go in a little bit more into detail on the stuff I liked about the film. Uh, the visuals, my freaking god! I said in Spider-Man, I love the visuals in Spider-Man. This movie blows it away. Like, seriously, it blows it away. I was really, really happy about the direction, the visual effects people put into this film. I really like the direction Gareth Edwards, who wanted to make the Toho Godzilla present in this film. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm sorry. I'm a huge Godzilla fan. Toho Godzilla is basically where he originated, so they really kept the origin story of Godzilla true. They didn't change really much stuff about it, and they really did a good job of representing the true Godzilla we wanted to see for a long, long time. At least keeping it with the actual how Godzilla looks, and obviously adapting it to modern society with the modern special effects, which did an awesome job. The fighting scenes were awesome, the destruction, how they were dealing with everything was really, really cool. Let's see the plot. Man, huge props to the plot. It was something I was pissed with Spider-Man. This is something I'm not pissed with this movie, is how they organize the sequence of events, how they organize the plot, how they linked, as I previously mentioned, historical facts such as Hiroshima and Nagasaki, about the testings in the Pacific, about nuclear meltdowns, and how they do with all this other stuff in the film. So great use of plot. Also, one thing I want to give a huge prop to this film is the fact that all the symbolism behind this film. They used the concept of nature and how you can sometimes not control nature. Nature is a symbolism in terms that Godzilla represents that nature, the strong force of nature, and what happens when you're trying to use resources against nature, and how nature reacts to said forces. It's a really interesting concept, and I think it really, really is true to this movie, and it helps it become even a bigger impact, and how the movie progresses throughout the filming. So yeah, there's that. The acting, it was an interesting cast. It was an interesting crew. I think Aaron Taylor Johnson and Elizabeth Olsen did really good. Ken Watanabe and Sally Hawkins, they did really good as well. Especially Ken Watanabe. Now, here's the thing. I loved Bryan Cranston in this film. I really, really loved Bryan Cranston. I wish they would have included more of him in this film. The time where he was in this film, he really captivated your attention, because he's that great of an actor. He's gonna get your attention. So I just wish that he would have more screen time. That's probably one of my little complaints about this movie. Yeah, I mean the sound. Oh my god, the sound. This is one thing I really want to focus on. Alexander Desplat, who was the composer of this film, I'm probably mispronouncing his name. I'm sorry. He did an amazing job. I was literally, every time they put the music on, and you felt Godzilla coming. You'd be like on the edge of your seat, like, oh my god, this music is so intense. The music was fitting. There were some occasions where they put like some music that had nothing to do with the film, but that was nothing to do with the composer. The composer did an excellent job scoring the film. So I love the visuals. I love the score. I love the plot. I almost loved everything about this movie. Almost, because not every movie is perfect, and this movie isn't perfect at all. Um, but at least I fantasy expectations were met. That's all I'm gonna say about the film. I want to go a little bit on the stuff that I wish they would have done better, and the stuff I didn't really like about the film, which really weren't many things. It was like teeny things I was like, well, they could have done a better job. Well, obviously, I mentioned Bryan Cranston. I wish they would have included him more. I think that's, and the fact that the cast. I wish that the cast was a little bit more intense in some ways. I mean, uh, how can I explain it? The dialogue wasn't that really catchy. There were some key lines that were really good in the movie. Don't get me wrong. There were some really key lines, but throughout the film, like the dialogue between characters, not necessarily one-liners or such, they were, in my opinion, a little bit weak. They could have had more base to it. Um, but if this is an action suspense movie, this is like an epic kind of movie. Uh, which really doesn't base itself much on the dialogue, so it's not something that is really key or important to me. So at least for these kind of films. Um, let's see what else I would have wished they'd done. Oh, the screen time. It was kind of a long movie. It was 2 hours or so. Uh, but I wish they would have put a little bit more time to this movie. I think I was like, oh man, it was so awesome. Imagine if there would have been like a little more time, more fights, more action. Which there was enough of. Um, and I also want to put this out before I go and further about my review, my overall consensus of this movie. People were complaining that there wasn't really much screen time, much Godzilla screen time of the actual monster and the other monsters. My comeback to that is this movie felt like me more like a Steven Spielberg-esque movie, as in Jaws. How in the movie Jaws, you rarely saw the shark in many of the scenes until the very end. This is exactly the same thing. I think Edwards had a lot of inspiration, putting Godzilla and tidbits of Godzilla here and there. Like spoiling a little bit of hey, here's a little bit of image of Godzilla, and then poof, back to the plot. And I think it was a really important thing they did, and I really love how they did that. The build up, I really love the build up, and that's people were like complaining like, wait, this is Godzilla. Why is Godzilla only had like 10 to 20 minutes of screen time? Well, if you haven't watched any of the other previous Godzilla movies, then you don't know what you're talking about because you're not really a fan. I'm sorry, I'm gonna just put it out there. That's how almost all the original Godzilla movies are. They only include like 20 to 30 minutes of Godzilla. And to be quite fair, I really love. Yeah, he could have more screen time, but I don't think that's really a key thing that I was pissed about because the time he was in the movie, it was awesome, and you're not gonna regret seeing him. You're not gonna regret this movie at all. You're gonna really enjoy it unless you're one of those picky fans, which there aren't many out there, but they're still annoying. But oh well. I want to conclude my review to this movie. I actually want to I want to quote one of my friends who is a bigger fan of this movie than I am. Um, if you love movies with good plots, but with amazing action and visuals, if you want balanced movies that have good action but also a good plot basis to it, that leads up to good things, go watch this film. You will not be disappointed. You will love what you see, and you will be leaving the movie with a happy face and with a pleased face. Like, hey, it was a good movie. It had a lot of basis to it. However, if you want to just see a movie with action scenes, with no plot or with no emotional grasp or linkage to it, if you want to see just a basic action exploding stuff and everything going down, go watch Michael Bay's Transformers. I mean, really, that's all I can say about the intensity of this film compared to other action films, suspense films. Please go watch all these other crappy films if you're only looking for that. This movie has the plot. This movie has the direction and the emotional, the symbolism that most of the other action films don't have. So, that being said, I really loved this movie. If I had to give it a review, we could give it a 9 out of 10. Yes. You may be confused because I gave 8 out of 10 to Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 2. I regret giving it an 8 out of 10. I'm thinking more of a 7.5 out of 10. But anyways, this is Godzilla. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10 because I thought everything was great. The little things, tidbits that I didn't really, I wish they would have done better, are not really that significant. Therefore, I thought that, the movie itself was awesome. And if they would have just added that, I would have upped my review up to 9.5, almost a 10. But, this movie's not perfect. It has its flaws here and there. But every movie does. And yeah, 9 out of 10. IMDb gave it an 8.3 out of 10, which is, fairly good. It's a fairly good review. It's a fresh review. It's not rotten like other movies. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 75 or 76% out of 100, which, to be quite fair, I think a score in between the 80 percentile is pretty much fair. I'm happy it's not rotten. I'm happy it's on the fresh spectrum of it. Overall, the fans are giving it a good grade as well. They're giving it a 3.5 from 4 stars or 4.5 out of 5 stars, which is, it's around the grade that you should expect this movie to be in. And yeah, that's basically it, I think, for this movie review. It's obviously less extensive than my Spider-Man film, which I think I had a lot of stuff that I want to talk about. But yes, Godzilla, go watch this movie. I do recommend it. I thought the cast was good. I have a lot of power to the cast. I thought the visuals, the sound, the score, the plots, it was all great. But that's basically it. If you agree with me or disagree with me on my review, leave it down in the comments below. We can discuss. We can chat about what do you wish was included in this movie, or what do you think would have been omitted, or yeah, what are the ups and downs of this movie? Let me know in the comments below. I will chat with you and discuss stuff. Also, like this video if you agree with me, if you like this review of this movie. Hopefully, that this review would help you get a idea of what to expect from this film. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to share this video with your friends and subscribe to the channel. That way you'll be notified when I make a new video. And yeah, make sure to stay tuned next week when I'm going to review X-Men Days of Future Past. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. And this is Tunarific, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. See ya.